now. Republican Senator Bailey Hutchison of Texas sat in on many of the Supreme Court arguments. She now joins me live. Senator, it is great to see you. We just heard from President Obama. He calls this a victory for the American people. Is this a victory, though, do you think, for small businesses?
Oh, it is not. Small business has been hit. They are not hiring because of the fear that this law would take effect. And in fact, it is going to take effect unless we can repeal it in Congress. And that is exactly what we're going to try to do.
That is the plan. Then you're already having conversations, I'm assuming, going into today's decision on what the next move is going to be for the GOP. And that is the move, in your opinion.
Yes, absolutely. I think the Supreme Court made one thing clear. This is a huge tax increase, and the tax increase is going to be felt by individuals and small businesses. And at a time like this, with the economy so down, jobless rate so high, we cannot afford to have yet another tax put on small business and individuals in this country. We're going to have to do something, and I hope that Congress will rally to do it.
Well, Senator, certainly small business, but also large companies, many of them based in your home state of Texas, many of the oil industry companies that are based down there, they're also going to have to deal with potentially paying more for their employees as well. Do you think that that's going to hurt business in Texas, throughout the country, if companies are concerned about health care, that hiring may slow down? Mitt Romney called it a job killer this morning.
Cheryl, I think it's going to hurt business, and I think it's going to hurt the American public. The president keeps saying, oh, this wasn't a tax, and oh, you're going to be able to keep the coverage you have. The problem is business is not going to afford to keep it as you have it. So they're not going to be able to offer health care in this very prescribed law that was passed. They're not going to be able to meet those requirements. They're going to have to pay the fines. And so many businesses are saying, you know what, we'll pay the fine, but we're not going to provide the coverage. So people are not going to be able to keep the coverage they have as the president promised.
Senator, do you think that this helps Mitt Romney's chances against President Obama?
I definitely think that the American people now have a wake-up call, and they're going to have a choice at the election box to throw this law out, something the Supreme Court did not do. I think they will. I think if we make the case about the costs and the loss of coverage and the loss of quality health care and the doctor-patient relationship, that people will go to the polls and they will say, we need a change. We need to do this ourselves. That's what democracy is all about. I think they'll rally.
Certainly, Senator. Before I let you go, the one thing that would change if Mitt Romney was elected come November, he would have to then deal with the repeal, the change, restructuring health care in this country. But that would also delay any decisions on the corporate tax rate. Does that concern you?
Well, I think we can do corporate tax reform. I don't think that this affects that at all. We need corporate tax reform. America now has the dubious honor of having the highest corporate tax rate in the world. That is not what we want as the best and most stable economy in the world. So we are going to have corporate tax reform. But on the other side, we cannot continue to tax the corporations more at the same time on the healthcare side, while we also are taxing them more on just an income tax side. So we've got a lot to do. I hope Congress will roll up its sleeves right now today and start talking about repeal of the healthcare bill, corporate tax reform. Let's get our house in order. We don't have to wait for the elections, but if we do nothing, then the elections will make the difference.
Senator Bailey Hutchison from Texas, a historic day. It was great to have you on the show. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Cheryl.